She's a money-grubbing slum rat who'll never belong in our world. The venomous words echo through an Oakland garden wedding, where 500 guests freeze as the ex-girlfriend of a fashion millionaire hurls this racist insult at the bride, a 28-year-old black interior designer. Her life's work, crafting sustainable homes for underserved families, has been met with whispers of opportunist and outsider from elite circles. She's endured snide remarks about her Oakland roots, lost contracts to vicious rumors, and faced covert prejudice masked as politeness. Yet, in this moment, her response will spark a movement, proving love and worth transcend hate. How does she rise? What secrets unravel about her accuser? Stay tuned to find out. Subscribe now for our latest stories, and drop a comment sharing where you're watching from. Will her triumph reshape a community? Don't miss a second of this journey. The Oakland garden glowed under a canopy of twilight, its wildflowers woven with twinkling string lights that cast a dreamlike shimmer over the scene. 500 guests, a vibrant mix of family, friends, and business associates, filled the air with laughter and clinking glasses. At the heart of it all stood Amma Sirwa, a 28-year-old black interior designer, radiant in a gown crafted by a local black artisan. The dress, with its intricate beadwork and flowing train, hugged her curves, making her feel like royalty. Beside her, Marcus Davenport, a fashion industry millionaire, gazed at her with eyes brimming with love, his tailored suit a quiet nod to his wealth, but his smile a testament to his heart. The couple's joy was infectious, their love a beacon in the warm evening air. The reception was in full swing, with tables adorned with eucalyptus and candles, and a jazz quartet filling the space with soulful melodies. Guests savored bites of crab cakes and sipped Napa Valley wine, their chatter weaving stories of the couple's journey. Amma, known for designing sustainable homes for Oakland's underserved families, had poured her heart into every detail of this day, from the locally sourced floral arrangements to the community choir that had sung during the ceremony. Marcus, whose luxury fashion empire had made him a household name, had insisted on a wedding that celebrated their shared values over opulence. Together, they were a vision of partnership, their hands clasped as they moved through the crowd, greeting friends and family. But the harmony was shattered in an instant. As the band transitioned to a slow romantic tune, a figure emerged from the edge of the garden. Vanessa Cole, Marcus's ex-girlfriend, strode forward, her white dress, a bold breach of wedding etiquette, gleaming under the lights. Her presence drew gasps. Her audacity was palpable. The crowd parted as she marched toward the center, clutching a stack of papers she claimed as evidence. Her voice sliced through the music, sharp and venomous. "She's a money-grubbing slum rat who'll never belong in our world." The words, laced with racist venom, targeted Amma's black heritage and Oakland roots, painting her as an unworthy intruder in the elite circles Vanessa claimed as her own. The garden fell silent, 500 pairs of eyes fixed on the unfolding drama. The insult hung in the air, a cruel echo that seemed to still the very breeze. Some guests shifted uncomfortably, their silence betraying the societal biases that Vanessa's words tapped into. The assumption that a black woman from Oakland could only be an opportunist, not a partner. Amma felt the weight of their stares, each one a reminder of the whispers she'd faced in boardrooms and galas. "She's from the wrong side of town. She's only here for his money." But Amma Sirwa was no stranger to such venom. Her work had always been her shield, her designs transforming lives and communities others ignored. She straightened, her chin high, and stepped forward, her gown shimmering like armor. "Vanessa," Amma said, her voice calm but resonant, cutting through the tension like a blade. "I don't steal from anyone. I build homes for those society forgets, families who deserve beauty and dignity. My love with Marcus is rooted in values, not status or skin color." Her words were steady, each one a declaration of her worth. The crowd leaned in, some nodding, others wiping tears. Amma's gaze locked onto Vanessa's, unflinching. "You can try to tear me down, but my work and my heart speak louder than your lies." Before Vanessa could retort, a stir rippled through the guests. A family, parents, and two young children, rose from their table near the back. The mother, tears streaming down her face, spoke up, her voice trembling but clear. "Amma designed our home when we had nothing," she said. "She gave us a place to feel safe, to dream again. She's not who you say she is. She's a blessing." The father nodded, his arm around his wife, their gratitude a quiet rebuke to Vanessa's cruelty. The room erupted in murmurs of support, the tide turning as guests began to clap, some standing in solidarity. Marcus, who had been moving toward Amma, now stood beside her, his face a storm of fury and resolve. He faced Vanessa, his voice low but commanding. "You've shown everyone who you are," he said. "Amma is my partner, my equal, and more brilliant than you'll ever understand. Get out, now." He signaled to security, who approached swiftly. Vanessa, her face flushed with defiance, scanned the crowd for allies but found only averted gazes and expressions of disgust. As she was escorted out, her papers fluttering uselessly to the ground, she hissed, "This isn't over." But her exit felt hollow, her power diminished in the face of Amma's dignity. Marcus turned to the guests, his hand finding Amma's. "I'm sorry you witnessed that," he said, his voice softening but firm. "But I'm not sorry you saw why I chose Amma. The strongest, most incredible woman I know." The crowd erupted in applause, a wave of cheers washing over the garden. Amma's mother, seated near the front, sobbed with pride, while Marcus's parents, initially hesitant about their son's choice, joined the ovation, their faces softened with newfound respect. The band struck up again, and the reception resumed, now charged with a deeper sense of unity. Guests approached Amma, offering hugs and words of admiration. The family who had spoken up joined her at the sweetheart table, sharing stories of how her designs had changed their lives. Amma and Marcus danced under the stars, their laughter mingling with the music. But a question lingered in the air, unspoken yet palpable. Who was Vanessa Cole, and what drove her to such a vicious act? Why target Amma with such calculated hate? As the night drew on, the garden buzzed with celebration, but the mystery of Vanessa's motives hung like a shadow. Amma, her hand in Marcus's, felt a quiet strength. She had faced prejudice before, but this moment, standing tall before 500 witnesses, felt like a turning point. The guests, now united in their support, raised glasses to the couple, their cheers a testament to love's resilience. Yet as the lights twinkled and the music soared, one truth was clear. This was only the beginning of Amma's story, a tale of courage and love that would unfold far beyond this night. As the lights twinkled and the music soared in the Oakland garden, Amma Sirwa stood resolute, her triumph over venomous hate a beacon for the 500 guests who cheered her on. Yet the shadow of Vanessa's motives lingered, a puzzle demanding answers. To understand the fire of that moment, one must travel back to the spark that ignited Amma and Marcus's love, a chance encounter that defied the boundaries of class and expectation. The Oakland Community Center buzzed with energy, its halls transformed for an architecture exhibition, showcasing designs for underserved neighborhoods. Booths lined the space, each a canvas of blueprints and models. But Amma's display stood out. Her table was a vibrant collage of recycled wood samples, sketches of cozy homes, and photos of families beaming in spaces she'd crafted. She stood before a crowd, her voice steady as she unveiled her latest project. Modular homes built from reclaimed materials, designed to bring warmth and sustainability to Oakland's low-income families. Her passion was palpable, her gestures animated as she described solar panels woven into rooftops and community gardens blooming in shared yards. The audience, a mix of local activists, architects, and philanthropists, leaned in, captivated by her vision of homes as havens, not just structures. Among them was Marcus Davenport, his presence understated despite his tailored blazer and the subtle weight of his reputation as a fashion industry titan. He wasn't there to flaunt his wealth. He'd come seeking purpose, tired of the shallow galas where checks were written for clout rather than change. Amma's words caught him off guard. She spoke of equity, of designing spaces that honored the dignity of their residents, and he found himself scribbling notes, his usual polished demeanor replaced by genuine curiosity. When she finished, the room applauded, but Marcus lingered, his eyes tracing the sketches on her table. These designs, he said, approaching her, they're not just buildings. They're stories. His voice was warm, devoid of the condescension Amma often heard from wealthy patrons. She met his gaze, cautious but intrigued. I'm Marcus, he continued, extending a hand. I've been looking for someone who builds for impact, not just profit. Amma shook his hand, her skepticism softening as he asked pointed questions about her use of reclaimed timber and community-driven design. Their conversation stretched beyond the presentation, weaving through topics of social justice, art, and the power of small acts to transform lives. As the exhibition wound down, the crowd thinned, but Marcus stayed. They moved to a quiet corner, the hum of the event fading as they dove deeper into discussion. Amma shared her dream of making sustainable design accessible, while Marcus confessed his frustration with an industry obsessed with luxury over meaning. Hours passed unnoticed, the janitorial staff sweeping around them as they laughed over shared loves, jazz, old bookstores, and the grit of Oakland's streets. When Marcus suggested grabbing a late bite, Amma braced for an invitation to some upscale restaurant. Instead, he grinned. There's a taco truck in the Mission District. Best al pastor in the city. You in? The suggestion disarmed her. Here was a man who could dine anywhere, choosing a food truck over fine dining. They drove through Oakland's vibrant streets, the city alive with murals and neon signs. At the taco truck, under a string of mismatched bulbs, they sat on plastic stools, savoring warm tortillas stuffed with spiced pork and pineapple. Amma teased Marcus for his clumsy attempt to keep salsa off his blazer, and he laughed, unguarded, his usual polish replaced by boyish charm. They talked until the truck's lights dimmed, sharing stories of their childhoods. Hers in Oakland's tight-knit neighborhoods, his in a world of privilege that often felt hollow. Marcus listened, not to impress, but to understand, his questions probing her vision for community healing through design. Yet not everyone saw Amma's brilliance. As she'd spoken at the exhibition, two sponsors in tailored suits stood at the back, their whispers cutting through the applause. A girl like her, from Oakland? One muttered, his tone dripping with doubt. She's got big ideas, but managing a project of that scale? Doubtful. The other nodded, their words a coded jab at her, blackness and roots in a neighborhood they deemed lesser. Marcus, standing nearby, caught the exchange. His jaw tightened, but he chose not to confront them, instead focusing on Amma's presentation, her passion outweighing their prejudice. The moment planted a seed of protectiveness in him, a quiet vow to amplify her voice against such dismissals. Back at the taco truck, Amma felt a flicker of hope. Marcus wasn't like the others she'd met in elite circles, men who saw her as a curiosity or a token. His interest felt real, his questions rooted in respect for her craft. As they finished their meal, he leaned forward, his eyes earnest. I want to see your work in action, he said. Your next site visit. Can I come? Amma hesitated, the gap between their worlds looming large. She'd faced enough skepticism to know that trust came with risks, especially with someone whose life seemed so distant from hers. But his sincerity, the way he'd chosen a taco truck over a penthouse, nudged her forward. Okay, she said finally, a small smile breaking through. But you'd better keep up. Marcus laughed, the sound warm and genuine, sealing a moment that felt like a beginning. As they parted ways, the city lights reflecting in Amma's eyes, she felt a spark. Not just of attraction, but of possibility. Yet a quiet unease lingered. Their connection was real, but the world around them was quick to judge, to draw lines between her Oakland roots and his gilded life. What challenges awaited this unlikely pair? The night ended with Amma driving home, the taco truck's glow fading in her rearview mirror. Marcus's laughter echoed in her mind, a contrast to the sponsor's whispers that still stung. She'd agreed to see him again, but doubt gnawed at her. Could a man like Marcus truly understand her world? The exhibition had shown her both promise and prejudice, a reminder that her path was never easy. As she pulled into her driveway, the stars above Oakland seemed to pulse with questions, urging her forward yet warning of the obstacles ahead. As Amma pulled into her driveway, the stars above Oakland pulsed with questions, urging her forward yet warning of obstacles ahead. The taco truck evening with Marcus Davenport had kindled a spark, But the sponsor's whispers at the exhibition lingered like a shadow, hinting at the challenges their budding connection would face. Now, as their relationship deepened, the weight of the world's judgments began to test the strength of their bond. Amma's design studio in Oakland was a sanctuary of creativity, its walls lined with sketches of vibrant homes and mood boards bursting with color. Sunlight streamed through tall windows, illuminating reclaimed wood samples and fabric swatches she used to craft spaces for those society overlooked. Marcus became a frequent visitor, his presence a blend of curiosity and admiration. He'd roll up his sleeves, joining her to review blueprints or brainstorm layouts for affordable housing projects. Their shared hours were filled with laughter and debate over the perfect shade of terracotta for a community center or the logistics of solar-powered lighting. Amma marveled at how Marcus, a man who could command boardrooms, listened intently to her ideas, scribbling notes with a focus that made her feel seen. Their connection grew beyond the studio, spilling into charity events across the Bay Area. At a fundraiser for local schools, they mingled with donors, and Amma's eloquence about equitable design complemented Marcus's charm as he rallied support for her projects. They shared a vision to transform communities through spaces that fostered hope. One evening, as they sorted donated supplies for a youth art program, Marcus paused, his eyes bright with an idea. "I want to fund your next project," he said, "a home for orphan kids in Oakland. Whatever you need, materials, permits, labor, it's yours." Amma's breath caught. The offer was generous, but it also carried a weight, tying their personal and professional lives closer together. The project, a cluster of sustainable homes for children in foster care, became their shared passion. Amma designed cozy interiors with modular furniture, ensuring each space felt like a home, not an institution. Marcus secured grants and rallied his network, his enthusiasm infectious. They spent late nights at the studio, sipping coffee and sketching, their conversations drifting from design to dreams. Marcus spoke of his desire to shift his fashion empire toward ethical production, while Amma shared stories of families whose lives her designs had touched. A single mother who cried when she saw her new kitchen, a child who slept soundly in a room Amma had painted with stars. These moments wove their hearts closer, each shared goal a thread in a tapestry of love. But not everyone celebrated their union. Marcus's family, particularly his mother, Eleanor Davenport, cast a chill over their warmth. At a formal dinner in their San Francisco mansion, Eleanor greeted Amma with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Over crystal glasses and silver cutlery, she called Amma a promising designer, her tone laced with condescension, as if Amma's work were a quaint hobby rather than a profession. When Amma shared her vision for the children's homes, Eleanor tilted her head, asking, "And how does your lifestyle inform your designs?" The question, veiled as curiosity, dripped with an assumption that Amma's Oakland upbringing lacked the refinement needed for their world. Amma's smile tightened, but she answered with grace, detailing her use of sustainable materials. Marcus squeezed her hand under the table, his jaw set, but he held back, sensing Amma's wish to handle it herself. The prejudice wasn't confined to the family. At a fashion industry gala, Marcus's colleagues, sleek executives in designer suits, whispered as Amma passed. "She's using him to climb the ladder," one murmured, loud enough for Marcus to overhear. "A girl like that? She's in over her head." The words, coated with disdain for her blackness and roots, stung like a slap. Marcus's eyes flashed, but Amma's gentle touch on his arm stopped him. She met the whispers with a poised smile, presenting her latest project to the crowd, her confidence silencing their doubts. Yet the barbs lingered, each one a reminder of the invisible walls she faced in Marcus's world. One evening after a long day at the studio, Amma sat on her apartment's balcony, the Oakland skyline glittering below. The weight of Eleanor's words and the gala's whispers pressed on her heart. She called Marcus, her voice soft but raw. "I'm tired of being seen as less," she admitted. "Your mother, your colleagues, they look at me and see where I'm from, not who I am." Marcus's silence was heavy, his anger at the injustice clear even through the phone. "You're everything to me," he said finally. "I'll stand by you, always." Let's build something together, something that shows the world who you are. His words were a vow, not just of love, but of partnership. Inspired, they conceived a new project, a community design hub in Oakland, a space where locals could learn about sustainable design and contribute to their neighborhoods. Amma envisioned workshops for kids, studios for artists, and gardens for families. Marcus pledged to fund it, his belief in her unwavering. As they sketched ideas under the studio's soft lights, Amma felt a flicker of hope. The hub could be a bridge between their worlds, a testament to their shared vision. But doubt lingered. Could their love withstand the pressures mounting around them? As Amma locked up the studio that night, Marcus's promise echoed in her mind. The city's hum was a reminder of the community she fought for, but also of the biases she'd face. Their love was a flame, bright and fierce, but the world's judgment loomed like a gathering storm. What trials would test their bond next? Their love was a flame, bright and fierce, but the world's judgment loomed like a gathering storm, ready to test Amma Serwa and Marcus Davenport. As they poured their hearts into a vision for a community design hub, the promise of their shared future seemed boundless. Yet the whispers of prejudice that shadowed their bond were about to ignite into a firestorm of betrayal and doubt. Amma's star was rising. Her design studio, a haven of reclaimed wood and vibrant sketches, hummed with new energy. She had just secured a major contract to design the interiors of a sprawling community center in Oakland, a beacon for education and arts in a neighborhood long neglected. The project was her dream realized, a space with open studios, colorful classrooms, and a garden atrium, all crafted with sustainable materials to inspire hope. Amma spent days sketching layouts, selecting recycled glass tiles that caught the light like jewels, and envisioning a mural painted by local youth. The contract was a testament to her talent, a chance to prove that her work could transform lives on a grand scale. Marcus was her steadfast partner, his belief in her unwavering. Their days were a blend of shared purpose and quiet intimacy. Planning sessions at her studio, where they debated color palettes over takeout, or evenings at community events, where Marcus's charm drew donors to Amma's cause. Their bond deepened with every moment, from stolen glances during meetings to late-night walks through Oakland's vibrant streets, where they dreamed aloud about a world where design served justice. Marcus's support was more than financial. He was her sounding board, her cheerleader, his laughter a balm against the pressures of her rising profile. But the higher Amma climbed, the sharper the knives of envy grew. Vanessa Cole, Marcus's ex-girlfriend, had been a distant shadow since their first encounter, her presence a whisper in elite circles. Now she struck with calculated cruelty. Rumors began to swirl, insidious and swift, claiming Amma had misappropriated funds from a past charity project. The accusation was a lie, backed by fabricated emails that Vanessa spread through socialite networks and local media. She painted Amma as a fraud, emphasizing her slum roots to cast doubt on her integrity. People like her can't be trusted with money, Vanessa's allies whispered, their words a thinly veiled attack on Amma's blackness and Oakland upbringing. The rumor spread like wildfire, reaching the community center's board, who abruptly canceled Amma's contract, citing concerns about transparency. The blow was devastating. Amma sat in her studio, surrounded by her sketches, as emails piled up, colleagues withdrawing support, community leaders questioning her ethics. The Oakland Tribune ran a piece, calling her an exception from Oakland's rough edges, a backhanded compliment that framed her success as an anomaly, reinforcing stereotypes about her heritage. Friends who once championed her work grew distant, their silence louder than words. Amma felt the walls closing in, her confidence fraying. She'd faced prejudice before, sly comments in boardrooms, skeptical glances at galas. But this was different. The rumor didn't just attack her work. It sought to erase her identity, to reduce her to a caricature of dishonesty. Nights became sleepless. Amma paced her apartment, the city's lights a dim comfort. She stared at the community center plans, now gathering dust, and questioned herself. Had she reached too far? Was her dream too big for someone like her? The weight of Vanessa's lies, amplified by a society quick to doubt a black woman from Oakland, pressed on her spirit. She avoided Marcus's calls, fearing her vulnerability would burden him. But Marcus, sensing her withdrawal, arrived at her door one evening, his face etched with concern. He found her curled on the couch, sketches scattered around her eyes red from unshed tears. "Amma, talk to me," he urged, kneeling beside her. Her voice broke as she confessed to the toll of the rumors. "They think I'm a thief, Marcus, because of where I'm from, who I am. I've worked so hard, but it's never enough." Marcus's heart ached at her pain, his anger at the injustice simmering. He took her hands, his voice steady. "You're not alone in this. Those lies aren't you. They're someone else's fear. We'll find the truth together." His words were a lifeline, pulling her from the edge of despair. They began to unravel the rumor's source, tracing the fake emails to a network tied to Vanessa. Marcus's resolve was fierce, but Amma's was quieter, rooted in a need to reclaim her name. They spent hours combing through records, contacting past clients who vouched for her integrity. Amma found strength in Marcus's unwavering support, his willingness to fight beside her. One night, as they pored over documents in her studio, Marcus paused, his eyes intense. "This isn't just about clearing your name," he said. "It's about showing the world what you're capable of. Let's keep building, no matter what they throw at us." Amma nodded, a spark reigniting in her chest. The community center contract was gone, but their dream of a design hub endured. They vowed to expose Vanessa's lies, not for revenge, but to protect the communities Amma served. As they worked, the city's pulse seemed to echo their resolve, a reminder of the stakes. But the path ahead was uncertain. Vanessa's motives were still a mystery, her influence a lingering threat. Could Amma rise above the wounds of betrayal? As Amma locked her studio that night, Marcus's words lingered, a beacon against the darkness of doubt. The city's skyline glittered, a testament to the community she loved, but also a reminder of the forces aligned against her. Their fight for truth had just begun, and the road to redemption would test their bond like never before. The city's skyline glittered, a testament to the community Amma Serwa loved, but also a reminder of the forces aligned against her. Their fight for truth had just begun, and the road to redemption would test their bond like never before. After the vicious rumors that stripped Amma of her community center contract, she and Marcus Davenport stood united, determined to expose the source of the lies that sought to dismantle her legacy. The shadow of Vanessa Cole's malice loomed large, and the couple knew that uncovering her motives was the key to reclaiming Amma's honor. In the quiet of Amma's Oakland studio, the air was thick with resolve. Blueprints and sketches lay scattered, but the focus had shifted from design to justice. Marcus, his usual warmth tempered by determination, paced the room, his phone buzzing with updates. He had hired a private investigator, a seasoned professional named Clara Hensley, known for her discretion and tenacity. Clara's task was clear: trace the origins of the fabricated emails that accused Amma of embezzling charity funds. Amma sat at her desk, her hands steady as she reviewed her project records, cross-referencing every transaction to affirm her integrity. The studio, once a haven of creativity, now felt like a war room, its walls echoing their shared mission. Clara's investigation moved swiftly. She met with Amma and Marcus in a dimly lit coffee shop, her briefcase stuffed with documents. "The emails came from a burner account," she explained, her voice low but precise. "But the trail leads back to Vanessa Cole. She used her family's network to spread the rumor, leveraging old contacts in San Francisco's elite circles." Amma's jaw tightened, the sting of Vanessa's betrayal resurfacing. Clara slid a folder across the table, revealing financial records that painted a grim picture. The Cole family, once a pillar of old money wealth, was drowning in debt. Their lavish lifestyle, designer clothes, charity galas, a waterfront mansion, was a facade propped up by dwindling trust funds and shaky business deals. The linchpin of their survival was a series of contracts with Marcus's fashion empire, supplying textiles for his luxury lines. Marcus leaned back, his face a mix of shock and fury. "She thought she could break us apart," he said, his voice low. "She wanted to ruin Amma to get to me, to save her family's sinking ship." Clara nodded, her eyes sharp. Vanessa believed that discrediting Amma would make you reconsider her, Marcus. She saw Amma as a threat, not just to her pride, but to her family's financial lifeline. Amma listened, her heart heavy but resolute. Vanessa's actions weren't just personal. They were a desperate bid to cling to a fading status, using Amma's identity as a weapon. Clara's findings grew darker. Digging into the Cole family's business, she uncovered a pattern of discriminatory practices. Their textile company had a history of rejecting black applicants, citing cultural fit as a pretext. They didn't even try to hide it, Clara said, handing over internal memos that detailed biased hiring decisions. One email from a Cole executive dismissed a qualified black candidate with the phrase, "Not the right image for our brand." The revelation was a gut punch, exposing a deep-seated racism that fueled Vanessa's attacks on Amma. The memos, leaked to a local journalist, sparked whispers of a scandal that threatened to unravel the Cole family's already fragile reputation. Amma sat silently, processing the weight of the truth. The rumors, the lost contract, the whispers about her Oakland roots. It was all part of a calculated campaign rooted in prejudice. She felt a mix of anger and sorrow, not just for herself, but for the countless others who had faced the Cole's bigotry. Marcus reached for her hand, his touch grounding her. "This ends now," he said, his voice firm. "Their contracts with my company are done. I won't work with people who thrive on hate." He made calls that same day, instructing his legal team to terminate all agreements with the Cole family's business. The decision was swift, not out of vengeance, but out of principle, a stand against the toxicity that had targeted Amma. As the news spread, the Cole family's social standing began to crumble. Invitations to galas dried up, and their name became synonymous with scandal. Amma, though, saw beyond the ruin. She didn't want their downfall to define her story. One evening, as she and Marcus sat in her studio, surrounded by sketches of homes she'd built for families in need, an idea took shape. "We have the wedding gifts," she said, her voice steady with purpose. "Thousands of dollars meant for us. What if we use it to start the community design hub we dreamed of?" Marcus's eyes lit up, the weight of the investigation lifting. "A place for Oakland's kids to learn, create, and dream," he said. "Let's do it. For you, for them, for us." The vision was bold, a hub with art studios, design workshops, and gardens, all dedicated to empowering Oakland's youth, especially children of color. Amma sketched furiously, her passion reigniting as she imagined a space where creativity could thrive. Marcus pledged to match the wedding funds, his commitment a testament to their shared dream. The plan felt like a reclaiming of power, a way to turn pain into purpose. They worked late into the night, their laughter mingling with the hum of the city outside, a reminder of the community they served. But questions lingered. Vanessa's motives were clear, but her reach was not. How deep did her influence run, and what other threats might she pose? Amma and Marcus knew their fight wasn't over, but the truth had given them a foothold. As they locked the studio hand in hand, the Oakland skyline sparkled, a canvas of possibility. Their love, fortified by truth, was ready to build something greater than any lie could destroy. What would their next step reveal? As Amma and Marcus locked the studio, hand in hand, the Oakland skyline sparkled, a canvas of possibility painted with their shared resolve. Their love, fortified by the truth of Vanessa's motives, was ready to build something greater than any lie could destroy. The fight to reclaim Amma's honor had ignited a new dream, a community design hub, and now, as they stood on the cusp of its realization, their journey was about to inspire a movement far beyond Oakland's borders. The Community Design Hub rose like a beacon in the heart of Oakland, its modern facade blending reclaimed wood and glass, a testament to Amma Serwa's vision. Inside, the space buzzed with life. Art studios lined with easels, design workshops equipped with drafting tables, and a garden atrium where sunlight danced on recycled mosaic tiles. The hub offered free classes for children of color, teaching them to paint, sculpt, and design spaces of their own. On its opening day, young students filled the halls, their laughter mingling with the hum of creativity. Amma moved among them, her eyes bright as she guided a girl through a sketch of a dream bedroom, while Marcus helped a boy mix paint for a mural. The hub was more than a building. It was a sanctuary where kids could see their potential reflected in every brushstroke. The spark for this triumph had been Amma's stand at their wedding. Her defiant response to Vanessa's racist attack, "I build homes for those society forgets," had been captured on a guest phone, the video spreading like wildfire across social media. Clips of Amma's poised strength, followed by the tearful gratitude of a family she'd helped, resonated with millions. Hashtags like Nushjam Inspires and Build with Love trended, turning her into a symbol of resilience. The viral moment caught the attention of design firms nationwide. Calls poured in from Chicago, Atlanta, and Los Angeles, each offering contracts for Amma to design community spaces, libraries, youth centers, and affordable housing projects. Her studio, once a quiet haven, became a hub of activity, with assistants fielding inquiries as Amma sketched designs that would shape cities far beyond Oakland. The recognition was exhilarating, but it came with echoes of the prejudice Amma had long faced. At a meeting with a potential investor from Chicago, a silver-haired executive named Richard Holt initially declined to fund her project. His tone clipped. "Your focus on minority communities is admirable," he said, "but it's too niche for our portfolio." The words, cloaked in professionalism, carried a familiar sting, implying that Amma's work for people of color was less marketable, less valuable. Amma held her composure, presenting data on the impact of inclusive design, but the rejection lingered, a reminder of the biases that framed her as an outsider. Weeks later, as her viral fame grew, Holt called back, his tone suddenly warm, offering a generous contract. "We see your vision now," he said. Amma accepted, but the shift revealed his pragmatism, a willingness to invest only when her success became undeniable, exposing the prejudice that had shaped his initial refusal. The hub's early days were a whirlwind. Amma taught classes, her hands guiding young artists as they crafted models of sustainable homes. Marcus, ever her partner, organized outreach, ensuring every child in Oakland's underserved neighborhoods knew the hub was theirs. One afternoon, a teenage girl named Kira approached Amma, clutching a sketch of a community garden. "I want to design like you," she said, her voice shy but determined. Amma's heart swelled. She saw her younger self in Kira's eyes, a girl daring to dream in a world quick to dismiss her. Moments like these fueled Amma, reminding her why she fought, why she endured the whispers, the doubts, the lies that had once threatened to break her. The national spotlight brought new pressures. Reporters flocked to the hub, their cameras capturing Amma as she mentored students. Articles praised her work, but some couldn't resist framing her as the Oakland underdog, a label that, while celebratory, subtly reinforced stereotypes about her roots. Amma pushed back, insisting interviews focus on the hub's mission, not her background. She wanted the story to be about the kids, the community, the future, not a narrative of overcoming odds defined by others' biases. Marcus stood by her, deflecting media questions that veered into condescension, his support a quiet strength that grounded her. One evening, as Amma sorted through a pile of mail at the hub, she found a stack of letters from young Black women across the country. A college student from Atlanta wrote, "Seeing you stand up at your wedding gave me the courage to face my professors who doubt me." A designer from Chicago shared, "You showed me I don't have to shrink to fit their world." Each letter was a spark, igniting Amma's sense of purpose. She read them aloud to Marcus, her voice catching as she realized her story had become a beacon for others. Inspired, she launched a mentorship program at the hub, pairing young women of color with designers who could guide their careers. The program's first session saw girls like Kira sketching alongside professionals, their confidence blooming with every line they drew. The hub's success was a triumph, but it wasn't without challenges. Some local leaders, skeptical of Amma's rapid rise, questioned whether the hub could sustain its impact. Others, echoing Holt's initial stance, suggested its focus on children of color was too narrow. Amma met these doubts with resolve, presenting data on how inclusive spaces drove community growth. Marcus backed her, his influence opening doors to new donors who shared their vision. Together, they turned skepticism into support, proving the hub's worth through every child who walked through its doors. As Amma locked the hub one evening, The Oakland skyline glowed, a mirror to the hope she'd kindled. Marcus joined her, his hand finding hers as they watched the city pulse with life. The letters from young women tucked in her bag felt like a promise, a legacy taking root. Amma's mentorship program was just beginning, but its potential was vast, a ripple effect that could reshape lives. Yet the journey wasn't complete. The hub was a start, but what lasting impact would it forge? As Amma locked the hub one evening, the Oakland skyline glowed. A mirror to the hope she'd kindled, her mentorship program a promise of a legacy taking root. Yet the journey wasn't complete. The community design hub was a start, but its true impact lay in the lives it would shape. Now, as Amma Serwa and Marcus Davenport prepared to unveil their creation to the world, they stood ready to cement a vision that would echo far beyond Oakland's streets. The grand opening of the Community Design Hub was a celebration of resilience, its sleek facade of reclaimed wood and glass gleaming under the morning sun. Oakland's community gathered, families, artists, and local leaders, filling the air with anticipation. Inside, the hub pulsed with life. Art studios brimmed with colorful supplies, design workshops sparkled with drafting tools, and the garden atrium bloomed with flowers planted by children. Amma had poured her heart into every detail, from recycled mosaic floors to murals painted by young artists, each element a testament to her belief that beauty belonged to everyone. Marcus, her steadfast partner, had worked tirelessly to fund and promote the hub, ensuring it was a space where dreams could flourish. The couple had settled into a home just blocks from Amma's childhood neighborhood, a modest house with a porch overlooking the vibrant streets of Oakland. Living close to her roots grounded Amma, reminding her of the family she served. Their days were a blend of love and purpose. Mornings spent planning hub activities, afternoons mentoring kids, and evenings dreaming of new projects. Marcus's fashion empire now included a line of sustainable clothing, inspired by Amma's ethos, while she expanded her designs to uplift communities nationwide. Their partnership was a quiet revolution, proving that love could build bridges where prejudice sought to divide. The opening ceremony drew hundreds, their chatter mingling with a youth jazz band's soulful notes. Amma stood at a podium, her voice warm as she welcomed the crowd. "This hub is for you," she said, gesturing to the children in the front row, their eyes wide with wonder. "It's a place to create, to dream, to know your ideas matter." Marcus stood beside her, his smile proud, as local leaders praised the hub as a beacon of hope. But the day's heart came during a tour of the art studios, where a young black girl named Maya approached Amma, clutching a sketch. The drawing depicted a cozy room with bright walls and a window overlooking a garden, every detail vibrant with imagination. "See, Miss Amma," Maya said, her voice soft but steady. "You made me believe beautiful homes are for us too." She handed Amma the sketch, her eyes shining with pride. Amma's breath caught, her heart swelling as she knelt to meet Maya's gaze. The girl's words echoed her childhood dreams, born in Oakland's overlooked corners. Tears pricked Amma's eyes as she hugged Maya, the sketch a symbol of the legacy she was building, a world where every child could claim beauty as their right. The crowd around them fell silent, moved by the moment, as Marcus placed a hand on Amma's shoulder, his own eyes glistening. The hub's opening drew media attention, but not all coverage was pure. A prominent Bay Area magazine published an article titled, "Oakland's Underdog Rises," framing Amma's journey as a triumph over humble beginnings. The language, while celebratory, carried a sting, emphasizing her difficult roots in a way that subtly reinforced stereotypes about Black communities. Amma's jaw tightened as she read it, recognizing the coded bias that painted her success as an exception rather than a norm. She contacted the editor, her tone firm but professional. "Focus on the hub's mission," she insisted, "not my background. These kids deserve the spotlight, not a narrative that boxes them in." The magazine issued a revised piece, centering the hub's impact, a small victory that reaffirmed Amma's refusal to let prejudice define her story. The hub's first weeks were a whirlwind of activity. Children filled the workshops, crafting models of sustainable homes or painting murals that told their stories. Amma taught classes, her hands guiding young artists as they explored design, while Marcus organized community events, from art fairs to gardening days. One afternoon, a boy named Jamal showed Amma his model of a community center, complete with solar panels inspired by her work. "I want to build like you," he said, his grin wide. Amma smiled, seeing the seeds of her mission taking root, each child a step toward a future where creativity knew no bounds. The hub faced challenges, budget constraints, skeptical donors, but Amma and Marcus met them with tenacity. When a local council member questioned the hub's focus on children of color, suggesting it limited its appeal, Amma presented data on how inclusive spaces drove economic growth, silencing doubts. Marcus leveraged his network, securing grants that ensured the hub's sustainability. Their teamwork turned obstacles into opportunities, proving the hub's worth through the joy it sparked in every child who entered. As the ceremony ended, Amma and Marcus stood in the atrium, watching children sketch under the dappled light of the garden, their hands entwined, their love a quiet force that had built this sanctuary. Amma's heart swelled with the weight of Maya's words and the letters from young women inspired by her journey. She turned to the crowd, her voice clear. "Know your worth," she said. "Stand tall against prejudice, whether it's race, class, or anything else. Build a world where love and value win." The audience cheered, their applause a chorus of hope. As dust settled over Oakland, Amma and Marcus lingered in the hub, watching kids draw dreams onto paper. The city's glow mirrored their vision, a world where love triumphed over hate. Their journey had forged a legacy, but its full impact was yet to unfold. What futures would these children create? Thank you for joining Amma and Marcus's journey, a story of love, resilience, and triumph over prejudice. Their fight to build a legacy of hope reminds us that our worth shines brightest when we stand tall. Have you ever faced a moment where you had to rise above doubt or bias? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear how this story resonated with you, and let us know where you're tuning in from. Your stories fuel our community, just as Amma's inspired a generation. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to catch our next tale of courage and connection. Thank you for being part of this journey, for believing in love's power to transform. Until next time, keep building, keep dreaming, and never let anyone dim your light. We'll see you soon with more stories that uplift and inspire.